Hey, McDowell here. Today we are reviewing the 4-inch Zorro action figure from Boss Fight Studios. I've been very anxious for this one and am really excited to get it in hand. Let's take a look at the front. Gorgeous card art and amazing looking figure. Not currently available. I believe more will be in the Boss Fight store soon. Let's get this figure open. Welcome. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing so you will be notified of future videos. One thing really cool about Boss Fight Studio is its collector-oriented packaging. You can peel back one of these little strips here and slide the card right out, and then you get the card separate, and you could set it off to the side while you pull the figure out. When you're all done, you could actually just slide the card right back in. Now you could go around and peel back all these corners. I tend to just peel back this one corner so I can slide it in and out. And you shouldn't have a lot of damage. There may be a little minimal damage. So it really depends on how much damage, if any, you want on this card, is how far back you peel the corners and the tabs. We'll set this over here for now. We'll get this figure out. We got Zorro out, and he's surrounded by all of his accessories, and he comes with quite a few accessories. We're going to take a look at those now. He comes with this really cool looking sword. It's got some nice ornamentation down here around the handle. It's got these two little side pieces. You may want to be careful. Some of this looks like it may be a little bit fragile, so if you handle it too much, do too much with it, it might break off. So you might want to be careful down around here. Because of this ornamentation, it can be a little bit difficult to put his hand, attach his hand to the sword. Other than that, the sword is really, really cool. It's actually even slightly pokey, even though this is just a plastic and not actually metal. If this was metal, oh my goodness, what a problem this could cause. He has this really cool looking whip, and if you can, when you look at it, it actually really looks like it's made of leather wrappings all through here, or maybe even some hair. It's really a cool thing. One word of caution or warning, my tip broke off when pulling it out of the package. It's actually right there, laying there. And so you might want to be careful. I don't know if it got stuck on the tape or if it was already weak or if it was already broken. I'm not really sure. But as I pulled it out, all of a sudden this black piece was flipping and flying around here. And so it's got this little strap here at the end. I don't know if this is something you could actually wrap around his wrist or if that's going to eventually break. It may just be a design thing because, well, why not? But really cool that he's got this whip. Would be even cooler if it was posable, but that's alright. You know, we've got a really cool whip. Zorro would not be complete without his hat, and there it is. So he gets a hat, and we'll put that on in just a moment. In case you ever need Zorro unmasked, there is a Don Diego head without the mask, and it's a really nice looking sculpt. And if you can see there, there's a bit of a ball joint sticking down, so he comes complete with barbell ball joint in head, so you can just plop it on right there on the body. He comes with two replaceable hands. These ones are outstretched, reaching out, spread fingers, spread thumb to grab you or somebody else, or just to, put your hand out for whatever reason. And a Hero H.A.C.K.S figure stand. It's got 4 actual pegs, 1, 2, 3, 4, that you can pose them on and put them in different positions. They have these dots between the between the letters of hacks. That'd be kind of cool if each of these dots would have been the pegs, but oh well, that's just my thought right there. All right, let's take a look at the Zorro action figure itself. It has a huge cape. Look at that thing. And it's not a soft goods. It's not a fabric cape. It is a harder, medium soft plastic, I guess, on there. You can take it on and off, but I would almost recommend popping the head off to take the cape off, because there's this little bit of plastic right there. Let's pop his head off. And let's get this thing off there. There's a little bit of plastic. Here, we'll do this. See? Right there. That, I don't know. It just seems a bit fragile to me. Like maybe it could break off. I don't know. So I would probably just pull the head off to take the cape off and put it on. It's got a little post here, a peg, If you can see that in the blackness here. I talk about being careful, then I pry it back. But see, there's that peg there. There's a hole in his back. It's like a backpack hole for most figures. It'll peg right in there, and that's really kind of cool. If you think about it, instead of having a free-flowing rubber cape all over the place, it's pretty controlled. It's pretty maintained right there. So when you go to pose him and do different things, you kind of know where the cape is going to be. That's a neat little deal, I think. We'll pop his head back on, and it's not really difficult to take the head on. Take it on. Put it on, take it off, whichever. So let's see, what is his articulation? Well, it's really pretty good. His head rotates all over the place, round and down and up, and he's got like a bobblehead almost going on. It's really cool how well his head moves. His arms will rotate all the way around. They both do. He can lift his arms up about that high. He's got a single pin at the elbow. So his arm goes back and forth and it rotates quite nicely. I almost would have thought that the rotation for the wrist would have been here at the base of between the glove and the forearm, but the rotation is right there at the wrist. There is a little bit of a hinge, but the glove cuffs kind of restrict it a little bit, but there is it does work a little bit. He's got a torso wiggle, and it works quite nicely. There is no waist articulation. This is a solid piece from the waist to the lower torso, the stomach area. That's one piece there, so he doesn't rotate at the waist at all. If you want him to do the splits, he can go up about that far, and he can walk around like this, doing pretty good. There's no thigh rotation. There is, however, a double pin at the knee. There's no calf rotation. There is a hinge here at the ankle, and there's a ball joint that's rotates at the ankle, not at the foot. I like this much better. If too bad Jazzwares wouldn't adopt this type of articulation. I think that would work for the Fortnite action figures much better. But that's all he can do. He's got a nice silver screw right here in his rear end, so that must be to separate this lower waist area. So we will pop this head off here. We'll put on the Don Diego head. Maybe. I just said how easy it was. It's easy, provided there's nothing in the way. There we go. So that's what he looks like without the mask. The masked man. The fox is no longer masked. There he is. The hat will, as soon as I figure out the right direction, the hat will fit on. Well, sure, that didn't look great. If you put it on there. Well, it's kind of crooked, but that's my fault. You can put the hat on this version of him. We'll pop the head off and put the masked man. We don't know who he is anymore. He's got a mask, so he's just the fox. You know, we've got no clue in the world who this guy is. Doesn't matter if everyone else, you know, is around him all the time. He can put his hat on this version, this mask. There he is. Look at that. Isn't he looking good? He's looking so good in that Zorro. Wait a minute. Get back here, hat. Apparently, you can also play this game called Flip the Hat with this figure. So doesn't he look good? Back here, he's got in his sash a place to slide the sword. Look at that. Is that not fancy? Is that not cool? Kind of goes behind him. You can see it a little bit. It's not just on the side, but it's on the back. And I think it was designed that way very much on purpose. You can pull the sword out, and as I said, when you put the sword in his hand, you're going to want to be careful because there's all this little detail that can go wrong. I have to pry out his fingers a little bit and then, much quicker than that, pop the sword in. And then he's holding the sword. And he just looks amazing, doesn't he? Look at that. There's a little Zorro holding a sword at us without a cape. Isn't he cool? Isn't this a great figure? I like him. This is awesome. Haha, I am Zorro. This is great. This is a figure that, you know, is again a figure I didn't know that I wanted until I realized somebody was offering it. I like these older, I don't know, do you call them pulp heroes? These older characters that have character. They're not just carbon copies of new modern. They've got some interest. Just the older style. We're gonna get more with like Phantom and Tarzan, and maybe someday, hopefully, we'll get something like a Shadow. You know, just these older style heroes. They're really cool to me. They're more human and realistic than superheroes. But yeah, these are great. These are awesome. We'll take his sword out of his hand now. We'll put his whip there. I may have spread the fingers a little bit too much. I think we should put the whip that way. Yo, like something like that. I may have spread the fingers a little bit too much. But you have to. If you want to get that sword in there, you got to spread the fingers a little bit. Otherwise, you're not going to get the accessories in his hand. I'm going to have to do the same thing over here a little bit. Spread those open, and there we go. Now he's holding it quite well. There we go. Ha. Yeah, it looks like his fingers are spread a little bit, but they're coming back in. So you can fit him. It may take a little bit of snugging, but you can put him on the figure stand and put him in a very cool looking pose if you wanted to. We'll do this. Zorro. Zorro. We'll take his hat off. Bear with me if the camera goes in and out of focus. I'm just kind of all over the place, and I'm trying to stay in focus. My depth of field is kind of shallow. Maybe, come on. Sometimes these little barbell pieces kind of get stuck near the jawline, and it gets kind of difficult to... There we go. Ha, Zorro. And, well, look at that. Okay, well, let's move his foot forward. Apparently, if you're not careful, this figure stand will tip backwards. There we go. Aha. I don't know, there we go. Something like that. It's Zorro. Oh, I'm already having loads of fun with this guy. How can you not have fun with Zorro? I can get the hand. There we go. It's just one of those things you just want to do so much. You want to pose him. You just want to do stuff, and you get too anxious, and I don't know. There we go, Zorro. I didn't try to swap out his hands. I didn't want to do that here, but this is a really, really great figure. I gotta say, he's really, really cool, and I'm so happy. We'll have another Zorro video because in the mail is his horse. I'm getting his horse and another Zorro figure, and I'll show you the differences between the single carded Zorro and the Mighty Steeds packed Zorro. There's a few differences, not a lot, but a few. But I think that's about it today. So thank you for stopping by and watching. Check out my other boss fight video, the Skeleton Deluxe Accessory Kit, in the lower left corner if you haven't seen that already. Did you miss out on this pre-order for Zorro? Are you going to try and get this figure if it becomes available again? Let me know in the comments section below. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.